Hi everyone, it's Clyde at Vibrant Soap, and I'm back again real quickly because the Lemon Lime Sublime video was going to be too long if I included the color tutorial on that. So in this little video I'm going to show you the color tutorial as well as talk about when you do the same soap again, whether you want to stay consistent for your clients and keep it the same all the time, or do you tweak it and improve it or make it different in some way. So I'm going to address both of those questions in this video, and I hope you like it. So it is possible to keep some records so that you can have some consistency in the color design of the soaps that you make. So you've seen me use these studies with my watercolor, and I could label them so that I know exactly what soaps and what micas and the amounts of color that I use to make them. But I've never really done that because as long as they were my soaps, I felt like I could replicate them by looking at my old videos or looking at the soap itself if I kept it. But I knew that I'd like to retain that creative effort in the next time that I make the soap. So I have the choice to make it the same or change it, is what I'm trying to say. So, but if you have a client or if you have customers that really like the soap the way it is, then you have reason to be more exact. So here's a case where I actually did a color study, but also told myself what exact micas that I used. So the nice thing about having a visual representation of that is that a mica, depending on how much you use, could actually look different than what I have here. So if I have a visual record of that, then I can use enough mica to replicate that particular color. So, here's my messy notes, and I'm the only one that really needs to understand what this really means, but I have the names of the micas there so that I can do the same thing again if I want to. Some of it gets kind of messy. So I have my soap already made, starting backwards this time. I think actually that's the way I'm going to go with my videos from now on, is I'm going to show the finished product, and then after I show the finished product, I'll show you how I got it. So the purpose of this is to explain, talk about color. It's a color tutorial, but instead of just going through the color wheel and all, I'm going to be a little hypercritical with some of my past soaps. So who better to be critical of than yourself? That's kind of destructive sometimes because it takes the fun out of being creative, but if you can do it in such a way that you can learn from criticizing yourself, and we call it critiquing yourself. I'm not new to that because in art school we had critique circles all the time. It's a real educational thing to do. You can learn a lot. So I'm going to just talk about how the colors of this one particular soap has evolved through time. And you can see I had these very bright carnival-like colors before, and I thought, you know what, I still like the scent. It's like one of the most beautiful scents I've smelled, and I'm happy to say that I created this by mixing 4 scents that I thought would really work well together. But I decided to play around with this a little bit. And why would I do that? I did that because I like to be creative and I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. So the first thing that I did was I made the deep purple, which was my dark accent color, into a lavender, a pastel purple. I wanted to make this a little more sophisticated in color scheme than I was doing way back in 2013, 2014, and here it's 2018 now. Happy New Year. One of the things I noticed in my old soaps, if you take a look at it now, I kind of cringe a little bit. This is the one that I took out of the chocolate case, is that there are too many dark colors. There's the dark green and the dark purple, and they didn't allow each other to shine or do what they could do in a design sense. So I decided that I wanted the green to be more of the dark accent color. So I am going to retain that darkest green light color in my newest version of this soap. So that it still has some contrast. And I am also going to have possibly a little more of a orangey version of yellow. Warm it up a little bit. It's on camera going to be imperceptible, but it's there. Just a little tad of orange added to the yellow, more like a buttercup. And I'm still going to retain pastel green. And if you don't notice much of a difference between the past color schemes that I've used for this, remember that the amount of color that you use in the color design affects the whole design. So if I even use just a little tiny bit of this dark green in my design, it's going to be an accent and not a major feature of the color scheme. So there I have the two kinds of greens, the lighter version of purple, and then, even though you can't see it, I'm going to put the white there. I've always had 5 of these colors, but I'm changing intensities and I'm changing how much white is in them, so there's more of a pastel in some of those, and then I'll show you how that works in the silk.